What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. Well, guys, today I'm in a lot of pain. I talked about this yesterday in my members only video, and I talked about the fact that I unwisely decided to lift some weights, or at least I unwisely did more than I should have. I hadn't lifted weights in several years. I've been walking, working around here, using Total Gym and things like that, but as far as actual weight training, I hadn't done that in several years. And the other day, 3 days ago I think it was, I decided to pump some iron. And pump some iron I did, and everything went great. I wasn't sore, anything like that. I was tired from doing that. My muscles were exhausted. However, I was fine as far as the pain went. Well, the next day I woke up and I was still fine the next morning. But later on, in the evening, the soreness set in. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I think that it might be more than the soreness. I think I might have torn some muscles or something like that, because the pain feels excruciating. I mean, I've been sore before from lifting weights, but never anything like this. And I've actually had numbness in my little finger and my pinky finger and my ring finger, and the pain goes up my arm. It's mainly situated right here though, in the bend of my arm, and that could have been from the curls I was doing all the way up into my shoulder and into my neck. So I may have kind of pinched a nerve in my neck or something maybe too, that's causing so much pain. Like I said, I've been sore before from working out, but nothing like this. And it's getting better today, it feels. I can move my arm a little more right now, and I can stretch it out a little bit further now. Yesterday, I was stuck like this, because if I went anywhere past there, oh man, tears would come to my eyes. It was so bad. Even lifting my arm up made my shoulder and my neck hurt. Really awful. So it seems to be doing better now. I still have a lot of stiffness in my neck and the numbness in my pinky finger, and my ring finger is still there. It might be getting a little bit better than what it was. And I felt like some light, cold raindrops on my hand and my arm. And that's all sign of a pinched nerve in my neck. And I've been doing exercises to try to get rid of that. You know, I've been doing the chin tucks and the head rolls and things like that, with the towel behind my neck, doing the twist of my neck around, ear to the shoulders, trying to work all of this out. I've been doing the foam roller, and it's definitely helping. I've been putting heat pads on, cold packs on. I've been taking ibuprofen, fish oil, everything I can think of to do, I've tried to do to help this pain. And like I said, it seems to be getting better, so hopefully it will. But anyway, let's get on to this video, because it's extremely important, because, as you probably already know, the economy is collapsing. A lot of people that's been prepping for years were under the mistaken perception that when the economic crash came, it's going to be all at once. And that's not the way it happens. It goes over time. It's like a domino effect. You have the domino start falling, and it may take several years, even 10 years, for that last domino to fall and it go completely straight down over the cliff. And it's where we're at now, I think. It's just right there at the edge, getting ready to go over the cliff. We've seen it crashing for years here. It would go up, it would go down, it would go up, it would go down. But now, over the last 3 years or so, it's been straight down, it seems. And it's speeding up and getting worse much more quickly. And we have other things going on too. You know, repressive government. We have wars and rumors of wars with Russia, China, everything going on right now. North Korea, nukes, everything's going on. We have trains derailing, chemical spills, more fires at plants and things. Everything's going on right now. And it seems that it's a targeted attack on the American people, and I actually think that's what we're seeing right now. There's forces that are working behind the scenes to crash everything down to a certain point, to make everybody as miserable and as frightful as they possibly can. Then they will come in and offer a solution. When you're in misery, when you're homeless, when you're starving, when you're broke, when you are sick, if someone comes in and says, "Hey, I've got the answer. All you have to do is give us everything. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Give us everything. Give us all your national sovereignty. Give us all your freedom. Throw away your constitutional rights, your property. Give it all to us, and we have this plan. We'll take care of you." That's their plan. That's what I think is happening now. That's why so many things are going on. Of course, you know, there is probably some accidents that happen, some coincidences, but not nearly this many. Everything we see now over the last few years has been pow, 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 pow. And it's all leading us to disaster. And they're going to step in when that disaster happens and offer the solution. And the solution is going to be giving them full ownership, full control, centralized digital currencies, smart cities, their full climate agenda, Agenda 2030, and that's the whole plan, guys. But anyway, this article here from Zero Hedge, the accelerating countdown to Armageddon. The United States is going broke. The United States is, in my opinion, already broke. When you are $32 trillion in debt, and that's the official number, it's actually much higher than that, you're already broke. The United States is going broke. They're already broke, or they're living on debt. Those who focus on the U.S. national debt, and I'm one of them, keep wondering how long this debt levitation act can go on. The U.S. debt to GDP ratio is at the highest level in history, about 125%, with the exception of the immediate aftermath of the Second World War. At least in 1945, the U.S. had won the war, and our economy dominated world output and production. Today, we have the debt without the global dominance, and the dominance is falling more and more every day and going more and more towards China and the BRICS nations. That's on purpose also. The U.S. has always been willing to increase debt to fight and win a war, but the debt was promptly scaled down and contained once the war was over. Today, there is no war comparable to the great wars of American history, though there are many who'd like to drag us into one in Ukraine, and yet the debt keeps growing. We're accumulating debt at a substantially greater rate than we're growing economically. Basically, the United States is going broke. Like I said, they're already broke. They're living on debt. They're living on essentially credit card debt. I don't say that to be hyperbolic. I'm not looking to scare people. It's just an honest assessment based on the numbers. Right now, the United States is roughly $31.5 trillion in debt. Now at $31.6 trillion debt, would be fine if we had a $500 trillion economy. The debt to GDP ratio in that example would be manageable, but we don't have a $50 trillion economy. We have about a $25 trillion economy, which means our debt is bigger than our economy. And the economy is shrinking. No matter what Joe Biden's crew, Joe Biden's regime says in front of the media, it's shrinking. The economy is shrinking. It's going to get worse because business is going to keep shutting down. Layoffs, closures, because people are not going to be buying as much consumer goods. The danger zone. Economists Ken Rogdoff, I think it's what's pronounced, guys, and Cameron, whatever that is, I have no idea what that name, guys, carried out a long historical survey going back 800 years, looking at individual countries or empires in some cases that have gone broke or defaulted on their debt. They put the danger zone at a debt to GDP ratio of 90%. Once it reaches 90%, they found a turning point arrives. At that point, $1 of debt yields less than $1 of output. Debt becomes actual drag on growth. Again, the current U.S. and GDP ratio is about 125%, so we are far past 90%. We're deep in the red zone, in other words, and we're only going deeper. The U.S. has a 125% debt to GDP ratio, $1 trillion deficits, and more spending on the way. Give more to Ukraine, got to keep funding Ukraine, we're in this to the end. Russia can't win. Unfortunately, we're heading for a sovereign debt crisis. That's not an option, it's based on the numbers, and we're definitely heading towards that, and it's getting much more closer, much more quickly now as we see the way things are going. This article here from the Economic Collapse blog, Michael Snyder. Bankruptcies absolutely soar as America's absurd debt bubble begins to implode. It was only a matter of time before bankruptcies began to soar, and according to CBS News, that is precisely what is happening. The end of federal pandemic aid is putting many Americans and businesses under mounting financial pressure, leading to a spike in bankruptcies. Total bankruptcy filings in January shot up 19% in January to 31,087, up 19% from a year ago, according to data from Epquik, a legal research firm. The number of Americans who filed for bankruptcy across Chapter 7, 11, 13 shot up 20% in January from a year ago. I am particularly concerned about the number of large companies that are now being forced into bankruptcy, meaning they're losing money. Large companies losing money, filing bankruptcy, eventually close down, and more unemployment, and then people buy less, more companies shut down, more companies file bankruptcy to shut down, more layoffs. It's a domino effect, like I said a minute ago, guys. That's the way it happens, domino effect. I am particularly concerned about the number of large companies that are now being forced into bankruptcy. According to Zero Hedge, large companies are filing for bankruptcy at the fastest pace that we have seen since the days of the Great Recession. The spike in defaults was not a fluke, and according to Bloomberg data, 1 month later, as the end of February, no less than 39 large companies had filed for bankruptcy in the U.S. So far this year, as February's pace matches that of January, the year-to-date total represents the fastest pace of companies filing for bankruptcy since the immediate aftermath of the global financial crisis in 2009. This is just the beginning. We really are on the brink of the worst commercial real estate crisis in U.S. history, and it is going to be a complete and utter nightmare. Meanwhile, U.S. consumers are also drowning in debt like never before. Over the past couple of years, vehicle prices have accelerated dramatically, and at this point, millions of Americans are making monthly vehicle payments of $1,000 or more. For the typical American, a new car is increasingly out of reach. Used cars also. Today, about 2 out of 13 people are making monthly car payments of $1,000 or more. For many, there's no choice. They have few or no public transportation options and need a car to get to work, bring children to school, and to buy groceries. I saw local car lots up here, and you drive by and you have the prices written on the windshields of those used vehicles. And there's some good looking vehicles, but they're used vehicles. And the prices I'm seeing are like $30-something thousand, $40-something thousand for used vehicles. That's more than I gave for my Toyota Tacoma in 2015 when I bought it new. So they're asking more now for used vehicles than I paid for my new Toyota Tacoma in 2015. That is absolutely ridiculous. But that's what we're living in right now, is these high prices. As Steve Cortes pointed out, Americans have also accumulated more than $1 trillion in credit card debt. I talked about this probably a year ago, that people, when the economy started getting worse, they would start maxing their credit cards out to try to keep that standard of living up. And that's why the credit card debt is so high. They maxed it out, trying to keep the standard of living up, or just to try to stay alive and keep afloat above the bills and the things they need to stay alive, like food and energy cost. Maxing the credit cards out. I talked about this before. When that happens, and they max them out as far as they can be maxed out, they will start mortgaging their properties and borrowing money on their properties and losing those properties. The average rate of interest on credit card balances recently hit an all-time record high, and rates are likely to only go higher from here. Sadly, we're also in the early stages of the worst housing crash since 2008. As I detailed in a previous article, U.S. home prices have now declined for 6 months in a row. And we have learned that mortgage applications have fallen to the lowest level that we have seen in 28 years. Applications for a mortgage fell for the third week in a row. This is according to CNN News. Applicants for a mortgage fell for the third week in a row and now sit at 28-year low for the second straight week, according to data released on Wednesday. With mortgage rates half a percentage point higher over the past month, home buyers are pulling back even as the spring home buying season should be heating up. And I've noticed here in my area, a year ago, as soon as the houses were listed, they were gone, they were pending. Now they're being listed, people still trying to get outrageous prices, at least 2-3 times over the actual assessment value, but people aren't buying. They're staying on the sites like Realtor and some of the other online sites that list real estate for sale. They're staying for sale a lot longer and not selling it at all. And I've seen some of the prices start to drop because people were trying to charge these outrageous prices because they're living what was a year ago. And they were, a year ago, they were asking 3 times the actual value. If you had a house that's worth $100,000, they were asking $300,000 or $350,000, and they were selling like this. They were pending. As soon as they would go up, they were pending. But now that's definitely slowed down. It's obvious. And guys, this article here from Alt Market Biden's great economic recovery narrative is built on deception. Anything this asshole right here says is a deception, or he's just too stupid to know any better himself. He is hollow. He is full of perversion. He is full of evil. He's one of the worst presidents that we've ever had as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he is completely brain dead. He's a complete puppet of the state, of the deep state, of the globalist. Useless. Completely, totally useless. This past month, a poll held by ABC and the Washington Post with a 37-year history asked Americans if they were better or worse off in the 2 years since Biden entered the White House. If you were to ask Biden this question, he would be regaled with a flurry of great news about a fantastic economic recovery, epic job numbers, falling inflation, and a dropping deficit. When you ask actual average citizens, you get a much different reply because, like I said, full of lies, full of bullshit. It's always good for. According to the ABC post, Americans say they are worse off than they have ever been, with the most negative data in the history of the survey. Over 40% of respondents indicated their financial situation was worse under Biden. Only 16% of people said they were better off. Not only that, but 60% of Democrats polled said they would not want Joe Biden as their candidate in 2024, and 64% of all people polled said they would be disappointed or even angry if Biden remained in the White House for a second term. This is astonishing. Not really. How does one reconcile this reality with the claims made by Joe Biden on the economy? If this is the greatest economic recovery ever, then why are so many Americans in financial misery? Because they are lying, because they're making up the numbers, using their mouthpieces in the mainstream media to keep reporting this over and over again, to hopefully, even though you're starving to death, to make people believe what they're saying. It's kind of like they did during the pandemic. Repeat it over and over and over again, and people will finally believe it. And that's the hope that they have this economy. If they imagine it, it will happen. You know, the left, they like to imagine things, and they think they can just imagine things that it will magically happen. You can pretend. You can pretend you can be a fairy, and that's what you are. You can be a unicorn. If you pretend you're a unicorn, everyone else has got to go along with that and say, yeah, you're a unicorn. They're delusional. But anyways, guys, you need to keep prepping, keep stockpiling, keep preparing. This book right here, The Alpha Strategy, is a great book. I think it's written in 1970s, I think it was actually, or 1980s. Let's see, where's the date on this? 1981, I thought it was the 80s or 70s, 1981, by John A. Pugsley, The Alpha Strategy. Great book. It's a little bit dated because, like I said, written in the 1980s, but the facts are still relevant. A great book to protect your financial assets and to stockpile and prepare, and to not be completely destroyed by this economic collapse that is coming. And you should also check out today's video sponsor, Genesis Gold Group, your trusted partner in precious metals and rare coins. If you're looking to diversify your investment portfolio or protect your wealth from market volatility, Genesis Gold Group has the products, services, and expertise you need. With over 50 years of combined experience in the industry, Genesis Gold Group is a leading provider of precious metals and rare coins in the United States. The company offers a wide range of products including gold, silver, plutonium, coins, bars, and bullion. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just getting started, Genesis Gold Group has something for everyone. But what sets Genesis Gold Group apart from other precious metals dealers? For starters, the company is committed to educating its clients about the market and providing them with the support they need to make informed decisions. With a range of educational resources including articles, webinars, seminars, Genesis Gold Group helps you stay up to date with the latest trends and developments in the precious metals industry. Extremely important, guys, with today's economy. In addition to education, Genesis Gold Group also places a high priority on trust and security. The company only works with reputable mint and refineries, so you can be confident that you're getting authentic and high-quality products. When it comes to shipping and storage, Genesis Gold Group offers insured options to protect your investment every step of the way, so you're not going to lose any money if you go with Genesis Gold Group. But don't just take my word for it. Genesis Gold Group has a 5-star rating on Trustpilot and has received numerous positive reviews from satisfied customers. At Genesis Gold Group, customer satisfaction is their top priority. They understand that investing in precious metals can be daunting, which is why they're committed to providing you with a seamless and hassle-free experience. From start to finish, the team at Genesis Gold Group is here to guide you every step of the way. So whether you're looking to add some diversity to your investment portfolio to protect your wealth from market volatility, or simply to learn more about the precious metals market, Genesis Gold Group is here to help. With a range of products, services, and educational resources, they're your trusted partner in precious metals and rare coins. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about Genesis Gold Group, please visit the website at genesisgoldgroup.com.